Season 8. I know it's going to be hard to talk about, but we'll get through it together. Season 8 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic is highly contentious amongst fans, often considered the worst. After an underwhelming Season 7 and an equally underwhelming theatrical film, fans were gobsmacked by the change in direction Season 8 took as the penultimate season of the series. I'm here to figure out why Season 8 is held at such a low regard, and maybe teach you something new about the development of the series leading to its production. To start, since we have a lot of ground to cover, it's important to note that not all of Season 8 was bad. At worst, these episodes can really just be mediocre, but there were a few great ones peppered here and there. The Mod Couple, Sounds of Silence, and the Best Gift Ever special are all great, but there is not enough space in the season for more episodes like this due to the massive skull-shaped elephant in the room. Yes, it's time to talk about the School of Friendship. A new location, hub, plot device, toy that the bulk of the season is centered around. The main hook is that after Twilight explored Equestria in the movie, she wants to open a school for all the diverse species in Equestria, not just for ponies. In theory, this is a good idea. It can help with world building, and it's perfectly in theme with the series, but there are two big issues with this change of pace. First, we are really limiting the stories we can tell if most of it has to take place in one location, and the second issue are these 6 little turds known as the Young Six. I'm mainly going to be focusing on these characters because the School of Friendship inherently exists to serve them, with the setting itself not being used for anything that interesting besides from telling a very decent story about prejudice in the season premiere. If you know me, it is no secret that I don't like these characters. I just find them to be overwhelmingly boring, no charm, no unique drive that makes me want to follow them. They are important because the story says they are important. They are supposed to be the successors of the Elements of Harmony, the physical representation of the themes of the entire series. But what elements are they supposed to be? Fuck if I know. The show doesn't even allude to what their elements could be. Keep in mind, the first 2 episodes of Friendship is Magic also had to introduce 6 characters to the audience, and is able to effortlessly represent the themes each of them represent. But even with spending half the season with these chuckle fucks, I struggle to figure out why they're significant. I was going to do a rundown of each of these characters, but they are all so overwhelmingly boring that all of my critiques would sound like, Gallus is an asshole, Sandbar is a stoner, Yona is a yak. Silverstream at the very least has something interesting going for her. Her personality is informed by the oppression her people experience by the Storm King. This helps the world feel lived in, give context behind her personality, and gives the story real consequences. It's a nice little bit of continuity I wish the show did more of, but instead she is stuck with the literary equivalent of air in a chip bag. What's worse is that sometimes these new characters are antithetical of the themes of the show by creating their own set of species-related stereotypes. Griffins are often dicks, yaks are often stupid, and changelings are meek little cretins. This is pretty reductive messaging. Oh, but we've only scratched the surface. This season aims to answer a problem without asking the question first. Equestria is lacking in diversity, and if there are multiple intelligent species, why does it seem like everyone is relegated to ethno-states? Why do ponies have majority rule of the planet with multiple settlements whilst others are relegated to single isolated locations? The reason for this lies in authority, or the people in power that sanction its segregation, but it would likely be problematic amongst executives and writers to say that Princess Celestia is responsible for a pretty bad and arguably racist thing. Obviously, the reason Equestria seems segregated is not because of some subconscious biases of a one-race country, but because of just how limited production can be. The early seasons of Friendship is Magic didn't have the luxury of diverse species because animation is expensive. There was another class of creature that was seemingly absent: stallions. I know that sounds weird, but in Season 1 and most of Season 2, Ponyville was populated by strictly mares, and that was because of the budget limitations requiring them to use the same mare vector over and over. You want to know how they fixed the issue when they had the budget? They just added more male ponies. That's it. We as the audience understand that there are limitations when creating a show, so we probably won't bat an eye if you added a few griffins or dragons in the background after the movie. We didn't care that much when the entirety of the Canterlot Castle was remodeled without any context. We wouldn't care if non-pony species were just a part of the regular show now. But by trying to contextualize it, it creates an issue that isn't even there and only hurts the show more than it helps. But what if I told you we were so close from not being in this timeline? Season 8 and even Season 7 was supposed to go in a completely different direction. I keep coming back to this convention, but it just gave us so much juicy information. According to Jim Miller in 2024's Windy City PonyCon, their plans for Season 7 and 8 were far more ambitious. It was supposed to be one long arc split into 2 seasons where the cast investigates the disappearance of the Pillars of Equestria. But this didn't just involve the main 6. Starlight and her friends were supposed to split off from Twilight and do their own solo adventure related to this arc. Interestingly, Derpy was planned to be a part of this cast, making her a main character. When they come together again, there would be this big disagreement that results in some kind of civil war conflict. The idea was shot down because the higher-ups didn't want connected seasons, and I can take a good guess as to why. If Season 8 is just a continuation of Season 7, then you wouldn't have any opportunities to shove your hot new toy line in the series now, can you? And hearing all of this makes me froth at the mouth at the potential this arc could have had. Imagine after the Pretty Wholesome season premiere, where Twilight has to learn that one day she'll have to trust Starlight to be on her own, they find themselves as enemies again. I think the conflict would have been that Starlight believes that Stygian is worthy of redemption like she was, but Twilight struggles to listen to her as a friend over Star Swirl, a figure of authority she trusts. When discussing this with fellow PonyTuber CXCD, he approached me with this possibility that I loved. What if Starlight challenged Twilight with this question? If Star Swirl was here when I was evil, would you have tried to help me? God damn, this would have been so cool. I love it when protagonists are wrong and need to learn from their mistakes and become better people. This would have set up the stage of Twilight needing to learn how to become a leader in Season 9. And from the fact that this is heavily themed around the elements of harmony, it looks like they were setting up the Glimmer Gang to be the next bearers. With way more time to boot, as we would have 3 seasons to set this up, on top of the previous season that introduced this group. That is 4 seasons of character building, twice the amount of time the Student 6 got. You can see remnants of this original pitch everywhere, with Twilight having conflict with Star Swirl and how we got successors to the elements of harmony later. That's right everybody, these 6 waste of space characters took away the opportunity for us to have more Trixie. Can you see why I hate Yona this much? This also explains why Starlight was almost completely absent from My Little Pony the movie despite being such an important character. That's because she wasn't supposed to be there. They planned for her to be away on her own adventure between seasons. And I reckon that Discord was also supposed to be one of the main characters of this journey. My disappointment knows no bounds. Thankfully, Season 9 was able to escape this trap, but the scar is still there, man. Can we give Jim Miller $1 billion to write a comic that's a biblically accurate version of Season 7 through 9 and the movie? Please, I would do anything. I'm so desperate. I just hope for the next generation of My Little Pony, they give the writers more freedom to create the art they want to. But that's all I have for today. Tell me your thoughts on Season 8 and its cancelled plans. I love to read them in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I've been May, and I'll see you next time.